what are the real estate investment opportunities or strategies in today's market? I certainly have some comments. I'm interested of what you're seeing out there. And the reason I bring in flipping is we were talking offline that I know you're seeing less of that now, likely because interest rates are higher. But where do you see opportunities? Where do you see some strategies?
Flipping is a market. I talk to a lot of flippers. I don't flip personally. The challenge of flipping is that, again, you have a high asset category, right? So it's harder to find the deal, and the cost of goods and services to renovate that property are higher, right? Labor costs are higher. So unless you can do all the work yourself, I can barely hammer a nail on a wall. So if I were to do that, I'd have to hire somebody, right? Labor costs
Right.
are near an all-time high. Material goods are all near all-time high. So it's tough to find those deals. If you're in that market, there's definitely opportunities out there, right? The distressed resale market that we saw 12 years ago, it isn't coming, right? COVID didn't lead to this massive foreclosure shadow inventory that existed. Yeah, do people still find themselves in tough distressed situations? Sure. Some people are willing to take a cash offer just to get out of a house, or maybe an estate sale where the kids just want to get out and they don't want to do any work, so they'll fire sale it. So there's still some opportunities out there to flip. I am a buy and hold strategist. I have investment properties for buy and hold. I like clipping coupons every month, so to speak, from my renters that can help build great cash flow and great appreciation. So I think if you want to be in the real estate investment game, there are still opportunities to do so. On flipping, you just have to know your numbers, right? And the expectation for profit probably has to be reeled in a little bit, but there's still opportunity to make money there. And there is still opportunity to buy and hold. Rental rates are still at an all-time high. Why? Again, it gets back to what we talked about previously, right? There's just too much demand for living space where people, if they can't afford to buy, they're going to look to rent. So rental rates are still consistently high. The things that drive down rental rates are the same things that will drive down asset prices, which is, recession and large unemployment numbers. Again, here locally, with where we're at, knock on wood, I don't see that playing out anytime soon. So if you're thinking about adding cash flow through real estate, there's still great opportunities to do that. Multi-unit, we're seeing a lot of that. So it's still there. The short market's its own market. It's pretty consistent. You don't see a ton of price drops there. The challenge down the shore is inventory as well. Everyone who went down to buy a short house during COVID had these these short properties / Airbnbs / semi-investment properties locked up at 2.5%, 3% interest rate. So that market's a little bit slower on the resale, but the asset values are continuing to hold because they're not building any new homes.
Yeah, I think you're dead on that. If this is an environment where the average age of a new home buyer is 38, and it was, to your point, 33 a number of years ago, what are they doing? They're renting. So I think the residential rental market is likely to be strong for the next several years. So if you're fortunate to own a property and rent it, because of inflation, you've likely increased rent, or you have the ability to do so. So now you're increasing the rent, but if you have a fixed 15-year, 30-year mortgage that you locked in at 3 or 4, you're getting a lot more of that spread, and you're keeping that spread. Other things that might be difficult to do individually, but I think there's a lot of opportunity in the industrial space and warehouses. The whole e-commerce movement is alive and well, with Amazon boxes showing up at everyone's doorstep on a almost daily basis. So they got to house that product. They got to house that's industrial, that's warehouses. I also think that the new one is the data center build out and the need for increased energy, increased data storage. We're seeing that, and we use some private real estate investments and trusts for clients where we'd rather be passive, let them do it, and then we'll receive that coupon, we'll receive that appreciation. Some of that performance has been slow over the last 2 years because of interest rates, but we might be on that cusp of seeing that asset class start to turn and become pretty lucrative for those that have kind of held on despite fairly flat returns the last couple of years.